I kind of like put my playing mindset aside and like my rugby stuff aside, and I was like, is this gonna benefit my mental health? Is this gonna benefit me and my welfare? No. And I kind of put my own value and self-worth as a priority.
Ffion Lewis, how you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm alright. Come on, Debbie Downer, a bit more upbeat.
It's a sunny day.
I know.
You've got a coffee.
I know, you've had banana
I've had
bread.
banana bread.
We're good.
We're good.
You've come from Llanelli today.
I have. This is commitment to the pod.
That is commitment.
yeah, Llanelli is where I'm from. Staying down there at the moment.
Nice. Sewage issues, right?
Oh my God, don't even get me started. Yes, experience. My actual house is in Tonnerevel, but at the end of January, I had a sewerage flood. There was a blockage on my estate, and unfortunately, because my house is the lowest point.
Yeah.
You were right there?
I don't want to look there. I shit myself. Honestly, I'm paranoid today with these cameras. Go on. Yes, you've had a
sewerage flood, and my house was the lowest point, so it backed up to my house, and it unfortunately exploded in my house. So I'm laughing, but it's actually a bit terrible.
How many on your own? Live on your own? Or?
I had the house with my ex-boyfriend, so it was actually, we were selling it. It was ready to sell, it was immaculate, and then the whole of the downstairs flooded. Like, we lost everything we owned on there. Yeah, it was crazy. Basically, had to get it all ripped out. Looks like a building site. Just very lucky that my dog wasn't in there when it happened, because I genuinely think she would have drowned.
No way.
Genuine, yeah. Because it rose just so fast. I was just stood at the front door like, what do I do? I've never, like, nothing could prepare me.
What dog you got? What breed is it?
Bernedoodle. Do you want me to?
Bernedoodle, yeah, let's do it. Because that's a mix?
No. Yeah, it's a... Oh, I'm going to get a photo now just for that. Bernedoodle, Bernie's mountain dog, crossed with a poodle. Here she is, guys, if you want to zoom in.
Wow.
Her name's Marley.
Marley,
yeah.
So you think that's how high the water got, though, that there was...
Yeah, it was just like... Because obviously when it started happening, like, we opened the front door and like it was coming out, but it was still rising really fast. So if the front door was... If it happened an hour before, Marley would have been in there on her own and the front door would have been shut, so there would have been no out. So and she gets like shut in the kitchen when we're not there, so she probably would have like, she's a big dog. She can't really swim that well, so like, oh God, I wouldn't want to think about what would happen. But yeah, carnage, literally carnage. Yeah, so, homeless.
Yeah,
homeless for 3 months.
Insurance job, that's a good little winner though, isn't it?
Yeah, like, very, very fortunate that we had good insurance, because like they have covered everything. Like, obviously we didn't have anywhere to live for that amount of time, but they did have accommodation that they gave us, but obviously we were broken up, so we weren't going to live in that together. No. So like, I said that Jack could have the accommodation, then I would just sofa surf basically. Oh. So I've just been living everywhere else. So it's a bit of a carnage trying to prepare for like PWR semi-final and the Six Nations, like homeless pretty much. It's crazy.
Talk about mental resilience.
Yeah, well, this last 2 years have prepared me for that, let me tell you that. But it's alright. I'm hoping that at the end of this week it'll be ready to move back in.
Nice.
They said it would take like 6 months, but it's only taken just over 3. Good. So yeah, that's good. Nice.
Yeah. Where is it?
The house. Yeah. Tonnerevel. It's like not far from Llantrisant.
I know.
Yeah.
Good
ideal.
Spot.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were meant to sell it, but now I'm like, just want some calm, so hopefully could just live in it for like a month or two, and then see what happens.
I'm grateful for you coming on today, Fee. Just, I think obviously I met you when we did the podcast.
Yeah, nearly
a year ago
now.
Literally, just spoke about that. But like you said, there's been so much going on prior to that and post podcast. But I suppose it'd be a great opportunity to kind of share a little bit about yourself, because you've had a few bumps in the road.
Yeah,
just a few.
A bit of a roller coaster.
But I think the best part about it is that the person you are has probably shown a light on you more than anything, that you can overcome anything, any challenges with the right mindset, and understanding that it's okay to let those emotions hit you as well, ride them out and continue going. So I suppose, I'm really excited to find out a bit more about you.
Strap in.
Yeah. So obviously recently for you though, like, I seen you posted up about the Welsh contract. Wasn't going to get renewed. Yeah. So you decided to pull the pin earlier, right?
Yeah. So, like, rewind a few months. So So when I was coming back from ACL injury, I ended up being injured for 18 months. And as I was getting declared fit, like the plan was like I was meant to return prior to WXV, like return to some of the warm-up games and then hopefully get selected to go to WXV. And then that didn't go ahead and I didn't get selected. And then I found out then that my contract wasn't being renewed in December. It was kind of really difficult because it was like, that's what kind of, when you're injured, you've been like putting your mindset towards, and like that was the plan, like that's what we've been aiming for, and then the total opposite happened. So I went within a week, found out about my contract, so I was like, oh, do you know what? I still deserve the return that I've worked really hard for. So I went to America, played tens, which I've never played tens before, but had an opportunity that I didn't want to turn down. Went out there for 2 months. And then when I returned, I got offered another renewal. So like the WRU were like, actually, we want you back. Kind of like, we want to renew you. Like, would you consider it? Had to do X, Y, and Z to get my contract renewed. Contract then got extended till January and then got extended until June. So I did decide to return, to go back into the squad. I wasn't sure whether that was the right decision or not, but I thought I'd always be thinking, what if I didn't? Had some tough conversations with my family around, like, should I go back? And I went against some of them and I did choose to go back. And then, within like 10 days, I think, of like me being in the Six Nations squad and me returning, unfortunately the same thing happened again, where then had a conversation around my contract wasn't being renewed again. So yeah, that was really difficult because like I think the first time it happened to me, it hurt me as a player, but the second time kind of hurt me as a person, because kind of like what I'd gone through to then choose to come back, and then it happened again. So I could have stayed and trained up until the end of my contract, which would be the end of June, but because I'd already just been through that process, I kind of like put my playing mindset aside and like my rugby stuff aside, and I was like, is this going to benefit my mental health? Is this going to benefit me and my welfare? No. And I kind of put my own value and self-worth as a priority. So I just decided I'm not doing this anymore. And obviously that's a really difficult decision, like playing for Wales and being in the environment is meant to be a privilege and an honour. But I just felt at that time that wasn't what I felt like, and I didn't feel like how I was being treated was something I stood for. So yeah, I made the decision to step back. Obviously it wasn't easy, but I think that's the right thing for me and where I'm at in life at the moment. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
There's a lot going on, and you know, credit to you though to be pulling the pin before then, I think, because if you knew we weren't going to get renewed, you kind of like, I don't know, it can definitely knock your confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely impact you and question. But I think for yourself, coming back from the injuries and getting that contract again originally, did it hurt just as much as the first time?
I think it hurt in different ways. So like, it hurt when it happened to me the first time. I think I was so devastated because like I'd been injured for like that 18-month period, and it had been such a traumatic injury experience that like that's what kind of kept me going. And like I said, we'd planned for that return. So then when the complete opposite then happened, it was kind of just like, it just blew the wind out of my sails. Like I was just devastated. And then I was kind of in this mindset of like, okay, what happens now? Like, again, this wasn't what was planned. I felt like I put so much work in that like I was excited to show the work I'd put in. And I didn't think that like I thought I had so many more years to give like in a Wales shirt. So I was like, oh, do you know what? I had an opportunity to go to America, so I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to go.
Nice.
I didn't want to go. Like, I was literally on the bus to London crying my eyes out because I was like, I don't want to go. But I knew in my head that it would be good for me in time. And I knew in time that, like, I'd look back and be like, this is the right decision. But if I didn't work out, then I could just come home. Obviously it did, and I was there for 2 months. But the second time, it hurt me more because, like, I'd put confidence in them that, like, I was taking a lot of courage to like decide to go back, and I made that very clear. I was not sure I wanted to go back, and then, you know, like I was very reassured that like I was going to be looked after, and that like obviously it's tough with pro sport. Like it is tough with pro sport, but I think the way it was handled and like how it was treated, and again it just felt like deja vu with like what I was told and then what happened. Well, then what happened were two different things. So I think that's where I felt really let down about. if I kind of knew where I stood consistently leading up to the second time it happening, I'd understand. But I think I just felt let down as a person because, like I said, I put so much confidence and like I'd had so much reassurance that, you know, after what I'd just been through, me coming back in, I was going to be okay and it was going to be different. And then
you're playing as well, though, right? You've been playing.
Yeah, I was playing at Bristol. Dave Ward reached out to me when I was in America. So I signed kind of like a bit late into the season. But like I had like a few regular games with them, which was great because it was like a great environment. So it kind of like teed me up to come into Wales. And like I was really confident coming in. Like I felt like I was in good shape, like fit, coming in with like obviously experience. Like I'd had those months before leading up to it. So I felt really confident. And then within 10 days, that confidence just plummeted. Like I just went from like 0 to 100. Like, no, actually the opposite, 100 to 0 really fast. So that was hard, but sometimes things just don't go the way you planned, and that's, you know, I've learned now that that's okay. It's just like not how to navigate that, you know.
Yeah, and yeah, I can imagine that being tough, and I think it's hard to see right now though. But probably all of the injuries you've had have probably built you enough resilience to go, I'm going to be okay after this.
Yeah, I think like some people ask me like during my injury process, they're like, oh, like how'd you get through it? And like I actually don't know the right answer because I think like I'd quite a few setbacks. Like did my ACL at the end of April. Had another operation at 6 months for my knee because it wasn't healing. So like I didn't run for 8 months. And then when I started running, I did shin splints for 3 months. So it was like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. So we're coming up to nearly a year where like I haven't really made a huge amount of progress. Like,
what year was this?
Oh goodness.
Was this recent?
23 I did my ACL.
2023.
2023. And then I was declared fit in the end of September 24.
Okay.
So 18 months. And I was like...
What, shin splints then?
Yeah, so I had shin splints leading up to the Six Nations of 24.
Yeah.
So I from like December to March, I had just constant shin splints. Like, it was horrific. Like, I think it's just because obviously it'd been 8 months I hadn't really run for, and then like I wasn't in shape, I was overweight, unfit, and then we really wanted to return for Six Nations, so my load just skyrocketed, and then like my body just wasn't reacting to it very well. So we had to just restart basically around just prior to the year mark when everyone else is returning. I'm pretty much like restarting. So that was, a weird one. And like my leg still is not the same now, and I don't know if it ever will be. It's just that's been something for me now coming back into rugby is like having to adjust to like what this leg is now like.
And what do you notice is not right about it compared to the other one from the surgeries?
My quad just doesn't, like, I've lost a lot of definition that I just can't get back. And like it doesn't fire as well. My knee's just super stiff and like clicky, and like it just doesn't function the same way as the other leg. It sounds so stupid, but like it just doesn't have that kind of like zip in it anymore. And it takes me a while to like kind of get moving. If I haven't like if I've had like 2 days off and then I start moving again, I'm like, oh my gosh. Even like me now extending this out, it's like I can feel it clicking.
Really?
But yeah, I think there's so much damage in it. Like, unfortunately, it's just having to adjust for this leg.
Yeah.
But I think for like my position and like kind of what my strengths were as an athlete, like that kind of is a disadvantage now. Cause
what was your strengths prior?
Just like I was quite quick and quite nippy and like off the mark, and like that's kind of something that I struggled to get back.
Yeah.
Now obviously missing half a hamstring, so
yeah.
But yeah, I'm just fortunate that I'm able to play again, because there was a point during that process where we had the conversation to be like, look, it was over a year, it was probably like 14-month mark. They were like, I actually don't know if you're going to be able to play again.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not happening. It's absolutely not happening. I've not gone through all this to like not play again. So that was obviously scary. But like now I'm just fortunate that I am able to play. So like I can deal with the leg not being as what it was before. Is what it is.
Hey everyone, it's Ollie Olds here with a quick word from our incredible sponsor, Pitch Roofer. You know, your home is your castle, and nothing protects that castle better than a solid, reliable roof. That's where Pitch Roofer comes in. They're not just building roofs, they're building trust, community, and peace of mind. Pitch Roofer has been serving our local community for years, and what really sets them apart is their commitment to giving back, from supporting local sport teams to donating to charities. They're making a real difference beyond roofing. Together, we are stronger. Now, if your roof is looking a little worse for wear, or you are thinking it might be time for a full replacement, Pitch Roofer has got you covered with top quality solutions tailored to protect your home and boost that curb appeal. Why should you choose Pitch Roofer? Let me break it down for you. Experienced professionals. These guys know this stuff with years of expertise in residential roofing. Affordable rates, competitive pricing with no hidden costs, high quality materials, durable weather resistant products that stand the test of time. Free inspections. Get the condition of your roof checked at no cost. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. They're not happy until you are. So whether it's a repair, a replacement, or you just want a peace of mind your roof is in good conditions, give Pitch Roofer a call on 01656 470016. A text message to 07540 443345 or email gerald@pitchroofer.co.uk. Pitch Roofer, building more than roofs, building a stronger community. Now, back to the show. And I'm speaking to you because I've experienced it too.
Yeah.
The 3 ACLs on my knee. But I think it teaches you though, like, okay, I'm not going to be as sharp at that area, but you know, like the best players, they kind of evolve as their careers get older. They have the smarts up here.
Yeah.
And like that might have been the thing for you now is, all right, well, I might not be that yard faster, but I can now maybe work on the peripherals or vision things and see things in front of you more.
Yeah, like focusing on, like obviously for me as a scrum half, like focusing on my distribution a bit more. Like for me, a work on was always like defensively, like being more aggressive in the contact area. So that's one thing now I can focus on instead. Like, that's my game. And I still don't think I'm like slow, but I'm just an athlete with real high standards. So I'm like, good. For what I was to what I am now, is still, for me, my head's not good enough. Yeah. But I'm hoping now that even though I'm not going to be in that pro environment now, I've got given myself these next like 2 months to like give myself like a training block to like where I'm out of like rugby, so I can fully focus on like just the gym and fitness and like functional stuff to see if there's going to be like a difference in that sense. Because like when I used to do CrossFit before, I was probably the most sharpest and explosive I've ever been, like in rugby. So I'm gonna like test that now and see how that goes over the next like 2 months to see if my leg actually reacts well to that type of training. Yeah,
that's great, and I'm glad. And CrossFit's good. Be careful, I want to say straight away, be careful of doing this just as much. But a little bit of advice from myself was, I actually like walked away from the sport for like 4 years because after the third ACL, I was just like I was carrying like this baggage of weight in my head all the time of like, you know, the stress of getting back to something or like I gotta be back for this preseason, I gotta be back by round 1, and if I'm not, and I put this like anxiety in my head all the time, and it got draining. And then it was like got to the stage where I was asking myself, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why? You know, people think you get really good money as a player. You don't, unless you're someone freakish. And the outgoings that you pay to, you probably have physio with a club. You have your private physio as well. Your nutrition, you're rehabbing all the time. It adds up.
Yeah.
And then, so for me, I just after the third ACL, I started doing triathlons. I walked away from it because I was like, I didn't do no rehab. I just ran straight line.
Because you can't change direction on ACL.
Can't fucking ACL it. And then I jumped on a bike to build the quad up, and then I swam, and I just did that all the time. And then for me, it was I went back after like 3-4 years. My brother just said, "Oh, do you want to play? Do you want to play in our team?" And I did, but I didn't think about the knee. But I was like, I was playing again as that under 7s, under 8-year-old going, this is why I did it. I just needed like a reset. Yeah,
nice. Because I actually can't believe, like, if I did my ACL again now, I don't think I'd be able to go. So the thought that you've been through 3, that's unbelievable. Like, because I don't think people actually understand. Because, you know, like, I think as an athlete, like, you post on Instagram or whatever about like your rehab, so I'm like, oh, she posted again. But I'm like, I really don't think people understand the intensity of an ACL rehab, especially if you had like meniscus in and stuff like that. Like it is traumatic. Like you have to learn to walk again. You have to learn to do everything again. Like so the fact you've done 3, like how on earth did you do that?
This is not about me. This is about you.
I'm turning on you.
No, but it's more just. It was hard. Like,
yeah, I can imagine.
It was lonely though. That was the hardest
Yeah.
part. I'm an extrovert and I love being around people, but you got to a stage where you're bringing people into the rehab group and you're like waving them off.
Yeah,
See,
and
like
you're still there. And you're
like,
still there.
You're doing it again, and I just found that really lonely. But
I think it's funny you say that about like being an extrovert, because I think this made me more introverted because I just spent so much time by myself. Like I'd go into the Vale where we train, and the security guard and like the cleaners would make jokes, because they'd be like, "You're the first one in, you're the last one to leave." They say like I was part of the furniture because I'd be in for that amount of time, and like I'd be like going in on Sunday on my own, turning the lights on, like in the like think of like how big the NCE is, and I'd be going there by myself. It's just, and you have to do it. You have to just start work. You have to get done. But like, and I just spent so much time by myself that something that I ended up just getting used to. And then now I go into training with all these people, and I'm like, this is really overwhelming. Whereas before I'd be the opposite.
Yeah. Because you're in the cycle. You know when
Yeah.
you become like that outsider and you're at training, everyone's talking about the game on the weekend and you are not a part of it.
Yeah.
And you're just not, you're there but you're not.
Yeah.
And it's just you're slowly on the outside. And for someone who's an extrovert, it's quite hard to deal with. And you're just like, fuck, I just want to be in there.
Yeah.
Just want to be talking shit with the boys or for yourself.
Yeah. I think I found it easier. So like when I was definitely not going to be playing in a campaign, I found it easier because like then I could I knew I could find a different role. So like in Six Nations last year, my role was to like run the water on and run messages on, and like I knew I wasn't going to play in that campaign.
Yeah.
So then I knew that my role was to like support everyone, do everything for everyone, be that kind of support network, and like I said, like running messages on and stuff. I think when you're injured and in that bit where I'm like, oh, am I going to make progress? Yeah. Am I not? Do I run reps? I don't want to take so-and-so's reps because she's playing. And it's like that weird bit where it's like, where do you find yourself? And then like if you can't do something, then it's like, oh, it's a bit, it can kind of knock you back a bit. But yeah, it is tough, but I'm just glad I'm over the other side of that now.
100%. Do you think they'll feel like, how old are you when you started playing rugby?
6.
What did that 6-year-old want?
Tackle the boys.
But was it an outcome of what she wanted to achieve? Or like as she got a little bit older, did she,
To be honest, like, I played rugby just because, like, I'd just been brought up around it. Yeah. And, like, I was the only girl in the team, like, and I can remember, like, guys on the sideline, like, parents on the sideline would, like, be shouting about, like, either run at me or, like, don't pass the ball to me and stuff, like, and I kind of created this, like, energy inside me that I was like, oh, I'm going to prove you wrong, and so all I wanted to do was just go and tackle all the boys. Believe it or not, I was actually a front rower back in the day, so I used to just be like, pass me the ball. But yeah, I don't really know. I think I didn't really have a goal in mind that I was like, I want to play for Wales or where, because I actually didn't know that was possible when I was younger. I think I just used rugby as just like an outlet. Like that was just something for me that I used to help like switch off and like cope with life. It's something I didn't really realise I was using as like a coping mechanism. But then at 12 I had to stop because it wasn't girls rugby, which obviously now is crazy because like there's so much opportunity for girls. But back then I had to stop. So I could only play I think I was playing football for a few years and hockey, and then back at the back end of school and college is when rugby started picking back up again. Yeah. And then that's when I realised, I think I actually do a bit of potential, and like I think obviously playing earlier gave me that kind of more natural skill set when I was older. So then when girls were picking it up in college and then couldn't really pass, but then I could, people were like, oh, it's because I started so young. Yeah. And then that's when I was like, I think I could actually really invest more time into this. And then it just took off from there.
So what would the ultimate thing be for a woman in rugby to achieve? Play for a country? Represent your country. I think now even like just getting contracted in a Prem club, obviously there's no like club rugby in Wales that is like at a standard that if you want to achieve like and you want to represent Wales or you want to compete, then there's not that opportunity in Wales, unfortunately. So
but yeah, like 95% of the squad are all playing England.
Yeah.
Even if, you know, you weren't in that bridge, that mark of like you could play for Wales, but you could play club rugby over there, I think that would be great as well.
So
like,
do you think though that what I'm trying to say though? Do you think you've you know, if someone who's getting into rugby and they hear what you've achieved, that sounds like you've won.
It does actually.
So the thing with high achievers is we never look backwards. We always go, what's next? What's next? What's next? We're like, hey, that really youngster wanted to play for Wales. She wanted to play in a, you know.
I just see what you've just done there. I just see what you've done there. My mind just gone,
Yeah, because like we're all chasing this perfect game, this perfect ending, this perfect thing.
Yeah.
90% of people don't come out of sports with the perfect ending. They're broken.
Yeah.
The body's busted. They don't get a renewed contract, or they get a contract that's shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
it's very few people that get to end it on their terms, I think.
Name one that has.
Well, in the women's game, there are. I think the women's game, you have a few more like the most recent have been able to like leave on their own terms, but like you got some men's players having to leave because like injuries or like, they can choose to leave, but they're leaving because their bodies don't work anymore. So like, I think like when you say it like that, it is crazy because as high achievers, and I am that percentage where like I'm constantly chasing for more, and like I'm always looking for like 1% better rather than being like, actually what's just happened before is good enough. But I'm trying to be better at that. Like I've been offline since I shared my statement for the last few weeks, but I shared a reel yesterday that I made for when I was gonna hopefully play for Wales again, and then it's been in my drafts obviously like nearly 2 years now. So I was like, I don't know, I'm still gonna share it.
Nice.
And like even in it, I wrote like, it's actually okay that when life doesn't go the way you planned, like that's okay. I think it's just then trying to like understand and like accept that that's okay. Do you know what I mean? So that's that kind of path that I'm trying to go through at the moment. And I do feel a bit of confidence because I made the decision. I think it would be harder, like the first time, that was completely out of my control. As much as like, didn't get it renewed, at least me choosing to leave, that's something that I could control. And that was kind of on my terms in that sense. So gives me that bit of like strength to go into this new path.
Doesn't that show confidence though from you, empowered to be able to speak as a woman and speak up and know you're worth enough to go, okay, I need to take control out of this now. I'm not going to leave it into their hands and wait till the contract to end and be kind of like twiddling my thumbs. Well, that's not my path. I'm going to pull it now a couple of months prior and do what I can the best. Like that alone shows credit to you.
Thank you.
It's true though, right?
I think I do try, and it's like Marmite, I think. Like some people love it, some people hate it, where I am quite like that as an individual. Like I stand up for what I believe in, like I stand up for what's right and wrong, and I'm not afraid to like speak up to whoever that is, whether that's someone higher up or it doesn't matter who the individual is, I'll be confident enough to stand up for that. I think that kind of went against me last year, kind of then what happened, that's why I ended up being in the position I was in with my contract, because we went through a terrible time last summer with our contracts process of like, we had to fight for months, and I was in the contract rep group, so I was constantly fighting for the girls and constantly speaking up, and I was like, you know, this isn't right and I don't agree with this, and I just wanted to protect the girls as much as I could. So then like when you say about like standing up for yourself, sometimes that goes against you. But I think like looking back, I don't regret having that kind of attitude, because I don't want to change who I am and compromise my values for something that I don't agree with. So I think when I made this decision now to leave, I was like, well, I'm just being true to who I am, if that makes sense. And I'm not like compromising that for something, for this perfect picture that we're talking about. Like I could have stayed just for the Instagram and just to say that I'm still training, but that's not, I don't agree with it. And it doesn't align with my values. So I think, again, that's why I feel a bit refreshed to be like, you know, I'm trying to stand tall and hold my head high, to be like, I don't want to look back on this in a few years and be disappointed in me because I made the wrong decision for the wrong reasons. Whereas now I can look back and be like, I did this for me, and I did this because this is what aligns with what I believe, if that makes sense.
Love that. What's up, guys? This podcast is brought to you by UTest. UTest provides clinically accurate, rapid home testing kits for a variety of medical conditions and deficiencies. Designed for convenience, these tests deliver results in just 5 minutes, eliminating the need to wait days or weeks for lab results. The range includes tests for prostate PSA levels, bowel cancer screening, onset menopause to fertility, and more. All tests are available with the next day delivery at www.utest.co.uk. Use the code 0010 for 10% off your order. Now, let's go back to the episode. You know, you said something then that were like about like your beliefs, values, and I think identifying your values is one of the biggest things ever, because you know then, okay, this is what I stand for, and then if they align with my values, then we're going to get along. And if they don't align with my values, well, we're not going to get along. And I'm a big believer in this. It's okay to be like, to stand up for yourself if these are what your beliefs are. Because if you don't stand up for anything, you get pulled around, you get taken the piss out of, and people walk all over you. So it's okay for not everyone to like us. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, I think I'm very self-protective of that. So like, I'm very protective over like, not being mugged off, or like someone not taking the piss out of me, or like, and like it's like a trust thing. But I think my work on is just how it comes across, because like I'm very like, you can see it on my face, I don't hide my emotion. Like everyone says you're savage, you're so straight up talking, but I'm like, at least you know you stand. Like I'm telling you straight. But my delivery does need work, because you know sometimes it can be taken a bit harsh, but I just feel like I always want people to be honest with me, and I feel like I try and treat people in the way that I want to be treated in return. So like, always want honesty. So if I'm going to be honest with you, and you may not like it, but it's only because I want it from you in return. And I think like those things that I've been through throughout life has kind of taught me this way, where I'm like, I can't afford to have people or be in an environment that's like gonna just, I don't know, like, just make me feel unsettled or uncomfortable, or like I thrive in environments where like we're on the same page and like I believe in something, I'm like, yes, and I like just get awfully passionate about it. But then it's hard to put your name to something that I just don't stand for this, and like I just feel like everyone matters, and like no matter, like if you talk about sport, I don't agree with it being like, okay, just you concentrate just on the 15 or like just the 23. The squad matter, and I think especially being injured, I seen that side where like you just get forgotten about, and like it's not nice. And I just feel like if you're all wearing the same badge, you're all wearing the same uniform, everyone matters. It doesn't matter if you're the cleaner, the kit man, the youngster that's coming in, everybody matters. And I think that's where my role kind of went at the end of last year due to my injury, that like I tried to look after the people that kind of got forgotten about. And like even throughout the contracts, it was like, you know, we fought for development contracts, like, so these youngsters like had the opportunity to focus on their studies, but then also they had the opportunity to come and train as well, because like it's not fair to be asking people to come in for free. No. And like fighting for things that just people didn't prioritize, you know.
So how did you fight for this? How did this come about? How did you just like organize it? How did you fight for it as a player? How does that look?
We had like a contract rep group. There was like 6 or 7 of us that basically just led up conversations with kind of the people that were helping us to write what we wanted our contracts to look like lawyers and stuff like that. And then like with the W ourselves, we had meetings with them around, we would like A, B and C, and kind of going back with negotiations around like, this is kind of where we are as a playing group. It literally became a full-time job. It literally made me ill. It was horrific. It was horrendous. Like, our contracts were ended at the end of June, and then like we had like, there was one Friday where we had like, you know, we had a deadline of when we had to sign our contracts, and like, it was just horrific time. And then because us as a group were like looking after everybody else, by the time that period ended, we then were then experiencing and suffering from that period of time, if that makes sense. So like at the end of the summer, I was just mentally so unwell, because I was like, it was so heavy And like I said, like it was like my phone wouldn't stop ringing from like 7 o'clock in the morning till like 11 o'clock at night. I'd just be sat on the sofa on the phone to players all the time, like trying to be supportive. Like we didn't know if he had a job, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just a horrendous, stressful time. So then, like I say, at the end of that process, I was just mentally.
Were you the mother hen?
Oh, maybe like the crazy auntie or something, you know. I wouldn't give myself a mother title. You know, that auntie, that cool auntie that people go to sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, Ffion will give it to me, or like, oh, she'll give me some tough love.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, well, I would, that type of vibe. I don't know if I come at that top stage where I'm like class as a mother. I'd go like side auntie, you know, or like cool cousin. But like I think it's just because like I was injured for so long.
Yeah.
That's why I felt what my role needed to be like. And like, especially being in the program for so long, I'd been in the program since I was like 16, 17 years old. Wow. And I never had a player or players that kind of like helped me in the environment or like taught me things. So like, I just, like all the young nines coming through, I didn't look at them as like, oh, that's my competition and whatever. The opposite, I was like, I actually want to help you because I never had that when I was your age. And coming into this environment is fucking scary. Like, so I just kind of changed my mindset and like, okay, what's my role now? How can I help you? Yeah, basically.
Isn't it funny though? I like that. But isn't it funny though, at the start, I'd get along with all the team. But if you're in the same position as me, it's like an unwritten rule. It's not as if you're a bad person, just don't like you.
It's so bad.
It's not like...
I hate it.
It's because you're competing for the same position. You're like...
I hate it though.
I know I'd like you, but I can't like you. It's like that competitive edge in all of us who goes, that's my jersey, I'm going to fight for it all the way.
I agree, but I'm the opposite. I agree, but I don't like it. And I don't like it, but I understand, but... And I think maybe that's what's maybe different. Like, maybe it's different in women's sport to men. Maybe that could be something. Like, I'm the opposite, where like, I think maybe because I didn't have that kind of support, like, no one actually taught me to be a scrum half. I had to just, like, pick up stuff myself, you know? Yeah. So, like, when these young girls came in, I just was like, how can I best support you? Like, do you want to go kick in? Like, that's nice. Did you do some passing today? Like, do like 10 minutes with them in the morning or whatever. Like, doing things like that. Like, I need the training time just as much as you. So, like, yeah, like, do you want to go through clips? Like, stuff like that. And I don't find it, like, my competition is me. Like, and that's how I viewed it. And, like, when I was younger, maybe you would look at it to be like, oh, I don't like so-and-so because she's got my shirt. And, like, unfortunately, there are girls that are still like that. And I have experienced that where, like, there is competition that unfortunately feel like that towards. Yeah. But I just don't see it. My competition is me. If I'm not getting picked, that's on me. I don't feel like it's right in a team environment to create tension and negativity towards someone that hasn't done anything wrong. It's the thing is now you don't get selected and you're pissed off at who's got picked over you rather than they haven't made that decision. Like the coaches made that decision. Yeah. So like why are we taking it out on them, you know? So like I was like I just don't need that in my brain. And instead of like I don't see you as a threat because my competition is me. So I'm like me working with you would only benefit each other. And how I always just say was like, one scrum half is not going to win in a campaign. Like, there's 2 of us that make a match day. There's 3 or 4 of us that make a squad. It's all about how we can make the team better. And like, me and you arguing and having tension and doing the same kicking drill, but opposite ends of the field, is not going to help the team.
Oh, nah, that's
so different. Is
that how girls run it, though? I don't mean it like that.
No,
I just mean it
good.
like... I mean, I wouldn't say we be bipping. It's just like this internal dialogue that I'm going to beat you.
Yeah, completely fair.
It's not like bitching about the person or all the boys like, he's a dick. It's just like, that's my jersey and we're going to fight to the sword to get it. But that's a good thing because it gets the best out of you.
100%. You need competition for sure.
Have you ever been in a team where there's no backup position to you and you just coast? I've probably played my worst games when I've got no one to kind of put fire in my ass. To
be fair, there was a large part of my caps where it was just like me and Kira and there wasn't anybody else that was kind of challenging us for the shirt. It was just me and Kira challenging each other basically. So that was a large part of it. But I think then it was in my head, it wasn't so much coursing, it was more just like, I still want to start, if you know what I mean. Or like, I was more so like, at the beginning, I was like, oh, I'm just happy that I'm getting a shirt because I'm on the team sheet. And then it's like always one thing extra. Like when I first got included in a match day, I did my TR travelling reserve stint, and then it's like I was thrilled that I was a TR because I was like, that's one step closer. So it's just like, okay, I'm on the bench now, I want to start, and I want to keep my starting shirt, and like, yeah. But now there are obviously our girls coming through and stuff, so
that's good. I think when you're at different stages of your life, though, early 20s, maybe it's different, mid 20s, then later 20s. It's like that transition of trying to help and understanding, probably knowing where you are as well. With yourself, you know, I know it's kind of like daunting times right now, or exciting times. What are the next steps, I suppose?
It's a good question. Yeah, I think the first time it happened, it was daunting. Because, like, I had no idea, never in that position before. I was shitting myself because I was like, what do I do now? This time round, it's more, like you said, exciting rather than daunting. Because I'm like, already been through it. I've already been through having to, like, part with rugby in Wales and having to, like, think what's next to me. So it's kind of just picking up where I just left off. Nice. And then I'm also now walking away with confidence to be like, what opportunities are there what opportunities are out there for me? I think I've kind of decided I don't want to go into full-time work yet because I want to be able to have the freedom to pick up different opportunities elsewhere. Like I'm doing some coaching stuff, which is quite cool. Relaunching my podcast, which will be fun, and just like start playing like fun rugby again. I just come back from South Africa, played 10s out there last week, going to like Amsterdam Sevens at the end of the month.
Nice.
And then been offered to go to Chicago to a 7 season at end of June. So like stuff like that, just like still playing at a decent standard, but like just doing it for shits and gigs, you know.
Yeah.
But just like stuff like I put pressure on myself. I could play for the Sixes, and I'd still pressure myself to play well. It's just the athlete I am.
Why though?
I don't know.
So if you make a mistake on a field,
I'm annoyed.
Why?
I don't know. I just get.
Do you ever wear like a bracelet or like a elastic band?
No,
on the
but
field?
I have not
when
on the field.
When you're playing, do you have like something?
No, I don't. I should.
Yeah, so I'm looking back now. And
I have this spinner.
Yeah, you can't wear that on the field, though,
No, I can't, no.
So I think whenever you, like, make a mistake, it's so common for people to be, like, thinking about it 10 minutes later or 20 minutes later or half time.
That's me. 2 days later, I'm, like, still annoyed I dropped that ball.
But then, like, you're gone away from what's currently going on now, and the only person who's really thinking about is you. No one else is. Yeah. So it's, like, telling yourself, like, I used to say just next job. And I am not the best player. I know. I dedicate myself to hard work and just being mouthy, loud. And just, I'm trying to punch above my weight because I wasn't the most skillful. I wasn't the best athlete, and I'm okay with that. But I know what gets me the best in the field is being present, communicating well, and bringing energy. So if I can do that, happy days. But if I'm dwelling on old mistakes, it's like, where am I on the field? And I think so you can get like elastic band and just like pinch yourself and kind of just recognise, okay, I'm snap out of that.
When I'm playing sevens tomorrow now, I'm going to do this. Yeah. If I make a mistake, I'm going to do this. I'm going to think of you. And I'm like, no, it's actually a good idea because that is getting work on for me. And I think I've come into this new era of like being more comfortable with like admitting what I feel like my work ons are, like what I know I'm not good at or whatever. Like, and that is one thing, like I set my standards so high, but it's like ridiculous because I'm so hard on myself. Like earlier when you said about, okay, if someone was looking at like my rugby journey, would they think that I've achieved? And I was like, oh, yeah, because I'm always thinking of like being up here all the time. Yeah. I think that's just the athlete, like the way what's been ingrained in us and the way we have to be like perfect all the time. That like making mistakes is so wrong. I think that's the pressure you put on yourself that you subconsciously don't even realise you're doing it. Yeah. So I think hopefully now going into this like funner rugby stage, I hope, I'll kind of try and chill myself out a bit. Because I know, and it is a work off me, like even in the 10s, like it was really chilled environment and I was like, But again, when
was the last time you really enjoyed rugby?
Oh God, I don't know. Oh, in the 10s, last summer. So when I went to California and I returned, like it did take me a while to get into it and enjoy it because again, I've a pressure on myself for returning. But that once I kind of settled, I loved it.
What did you love about it the most?
Just the freedom to play like I knew the group around me kind of like backed me and had confidence in me, and I was just like, this is just, I'm the other side of the world in the sun. I was like, class. Ow.
What was who gave you the freedom?
The coach. The coach gave me the freedom. Like, he was just like, just
play.
Yeah, play.
And did you guys do well over there? Girls do well over there?
Yeah, really well. Yeah, we won. Our women's team won the women's thing. It tends to be different where they do like mixed play as well as like your own individual comp. So like the women's won their category, but then like we came second in our mixed play because like they're all about equality over there, which is really cool. So like you play, like the boys play, the girls play, the women play, the men play, and all your scores matter.
Nice.
So
so how did it feel when you won?
Yeah, buzzing. Class.
So when you think about it now, how do you feel now?
Well, when I think about that then.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, class.
Yeah. So you just told me right now that you've thought about a previous time where you felt really good and you're feeling really good right now. The coach give you the green light to play free rugby and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And the girls backed you.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
Thrive.
Bring that over you then.
Where am I going to find that in?
You were that person. And
I know. I think in a elite environment you get caught up in like, because the opinions matter, and like I said, like I came into the Wales squad into the Six Nations period confident, because I was like, I'm really confident I'm good enough, and I'm really confident that like I'm good enough to be selected in the form I'm in at the moment. And I think when that changed with the new opinions and stuff, I was like, whoa, I'm really not where I thought I was. But then I need to keep reminding myself that like one opinion
means fuck all.
Yeah, because the next person could think completely differently. And I think like my whole rugby journey has been like that. So I think, again, like stepping back away from it, because like I say, you get so caught up in it, stepping back to be like, your whole rugby journey has been about opinions. Like 1 minute I'm being kicked out, 1 minute I'm back in and I'm getting contracted. Oh, it's just been like this all the time. So I think like,
Well, who was your best coach?
In Wales or in general?
Yeah, Wales. Then, if you want it for now. Or whatever comes to your mind as soon as you say it.
Okay, coach in general is genuinely the coaches I had at the Tens. I met two guys that the team I was playing for. Richard, he unbelievable, just like a bundle of just like happy energy, just like loves, like just wants the best for everyone, just wants to play. But he's really good at like when you're on rugby you're on, but when we're off the field you're off. Lush. And again, he realised that quite quickly that I'm really bad at that. I'll want to watch every game back, every minute. I'll want to talk about moves, like, and he's like, shut the fuck up. We are off now.
Where's he from?
We are off. Oh god, this is really bad. The Netherlands.
Okay, so different.
I think he's from
again.
the Netherlands or Amsterdam. That's really bad. I should know that.
Sure.
One of those two.
And was he technically good, or was he just a really good?
Oh, he's technically unbelievable. Yeah, he's just like so chilled. He's just like a bundle of energy, like a proper joker, really good at connecting with people. And when I met him, I was obviously met him at a really low point and instantly connected to me. And I was like, oh, I can trust you. And like I really struggle with connections with coaches because I'm like, it takes a long time to like let people in.
It's trust, isn't it?
Trust, yeah. And he just has this knack where he can just be like, build a connection with you instantly. But he actually technically is great. Like he used to play sevens, I think, for Netherlands, or I think something like that. Yeah, great. And like, I challenge him now and again. Don't agree with him all the time. But there's a second guy there who was like heading up the whole rugby thing called Rhino. When Richard was away, he kind of stepped in to do some coaching, and he's like South African, your old school rugby guy, old school in everything. He's very like, everything's about respect. Like you just listen. Oh, I met him and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I was like, Richard, he's making the girls cry. This is horrendous. Wow. I was like, you need to get someone else. And then within a few days, and he met me, and I'd protect the girls because everyone was sad and scared of this massive South African geezer. And I challenged him and stuff, and we just clashed a few times. And then after we kind of like spent some time like working out each other, we built this connection where we were like, I was like, wow, he's actually class.
He's tidy.
Incredible rugby coach, so knowledgeable. I loved the level of respect he had, and like didn't matter whether you're a girl, boy, 50 caps, no caps, you got treated exactly the same. And like everything with doing his rugby had like a purpose to it. And I just loved his ethos. And then he became someone that kind of really helped navigate through my time. And I kind of like had my back.
Nice.
And even like now, still speak to him all the time. Met him, obviously Richard took me to South Africa. Rhino was out there. Seeing him, nice. He took me to the airport. It was great, and like reconnecting with those people, it's like deja vu really, because like they're the people that helped me through that tough time last year, and the same things happened to me again. And then who am I run into is them two that have given me another opportunity again.
So what's the answer? I think your answer's there.
Yeah,
I can see a massive change in your facial expressions, your energy, as soon as you started speaking about those things. As soon as we started speaking about Wales, injuries, the hardships, it's like you're like this, but now you're like this. Let's go. You know what I mean?
I think it's just because like
it's a goldfish bowl of you.
Yeah, I know. I think it's just because with Wales, like I've given so much of my life. Well, like I'm 28 now. Been in that role since I was 16. Yeah. Like it's a long time, and like I was so passionate about it because like rugby, like I said at the beginning, like rugby was like my out. Like rugby is just something that has helped me cope with life, and like I just put my all into it. So like obviously we've had so many different coaches and all these things I've gone through with Wales that we've all just stuck it out and we've all committed to it. So I think that like now I've just kind of felt like how I got treated towards the end, I was just like felt really let down. And then I kind of felt like, is this actually what people's opinion is of me, or am I going to meet different coach? Am I genuinely going to be able to like be successful in rugby outside of Wales? Like, am I going to meet a coach that thinks I'm good enough? And I think when I met Richard and Rhino, that kind of was like a reality check for me to be like, you are good enough. Like, you are a good enough player. And that's what then transformed my mindset around like reminding me that like opinions... Yeah, you're going to get them in sport, but like that doesn't define who I am, if that makes sense. Like,
do you think one person's
opinion? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do think I'm good enough. I'm confident in that. Like, I do think I'm a good enough person and player to be in an environment like that. But now I think my time is just not right for me anymore, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I like I'm glad that you said that because you're good enough.
Yeah.
If you did how long ago you did that tens tournament and you enjoyed it, had fun? How long ago was that?
End of September to beginning of December.
So just last year.
Just gone, yeah. That's where I returned from ACL.
So you can't go from a really good player to a shit player in that period.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I think it's just like the pressure of opinion and like you just get caught up in like that kind of environment, don't you? You get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And like the kind of like I was at a point where I was like fighting for my job. Do you know what I mean? Like I was fighting. I was having to like I have to do well because I have to fight for my job, fight for this roof over my head.
But you've done that since you were a young girl. You just told me this. You've had to prove people wrong all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
So you thrive under that pressure.
Thank you. Yeah, I just think that now it's kind of like... I just think it's just not the common thing to obviously make a decision to walk away from something that you've wanted your entire life. And now I'm like, I can still get out, or I can still get the same feeling that I feel wanting to play for Wales in other things. Because like, if Wales ended tomorrow, rugby would still exist. So I'm like, that's why I'm playing. I'm playing sevens tomorrow.
Where are you playing?
In London. I'm playing a Legends touch game for loose heads. Nice. And then because I was doing that in the evening, this team were like, well, if anyone's playing sevens in the day, I was like, oh God. I said, I haven't played sevens for years, mind. Nah, don't worry, just pass the ball to the fast girl. I was like, no problem.
Yeah,
no problem.
What's up, guys? Just here with a special shout out to our sponsor, the Black and White Pig Company. If you love top quality meat, locally sourced right here in Wales, then you need to check them out. The Black and White Pig Company is your go-to online butcher, offering a fantastic range of top quality meats delivered straight to your door. They've got everything from tender beef, top quality chicken, delicious lamb, and of course, their signature pork products, all expertly prepared and guaranteed to be fresh and full of flavour. Ordering is super easy. Just head over to blackandwhitepigcompany.co.uk, browse their selection and place your order online. They offer local delivery around Bridgend and beyond, plus free local delivery on orders over £50 and free national delivery when you spend over £89. So whether you're planning a Sunday roast, a family barbecue, or just stocking up your freezer, the Black and White Pig Company has you covered with the finest quality meat. Support local, eat well, and check them out today at blackandwhitepigcompany.co.uk. Now, let's go back to the podcast.
I got asked to go play sevens in June in America, but I said I'm too slow, mate. I told her I'm too slow.
Oh my God, where? We could be playing in the same tournament.
Philadelphia?
No.
I think we're going to Nashville and then going to Philadelphia.
That's sick.
Yeah, I turned it down though.
Why?
I got too much going on.
No, we don't say no anymore. That's one thing my mindset is now is don't say no to opportunities.
I don't know, I'm not, rugby's not everything for me anymore.
Fair enough. But opportunities, I think of the people you could meet. Like, again, going to the tens, I was crying my eyes out leaving because I was like, don't want to go. In my head, I was like, think of the incredible people you're going to meet. Yeah, even if you go out there and you don't enjoy it or it doesn't work out.
Oh, I'll enjoy it. I'd love to do it. It's just literally like I've got more important things I've got to get done in that period. Otherwise I would. But yeah, I
think it's different if you're a different phase of your life. Like,
yeah, rugby stopped mentally for me like a couple of years back. I remember my last rugby league contract. I was injured the whole year, and I played like a handful of games. I thought, fuck, I am robbing a wage.
That's me, guys. That's what wonder they've sacked me. They're like, we just paid her for 2 years and you got nothing out of it.
No, but I was okay with it. Like, I was fine with it because I was like, you know what? I've done so much at the start of my career and got crumbs for so long. Well, I'm going to get this nice contract now. And then I remember we had the meeting at the end of the season. They were like, oh, look, we're not going to renew you. And I was like, sweet. I was like,
cheers,
thanks. I can really hone in. That was like 2 years ago in up North England when I come back.
What team was that for?
They're called Swinton Lions.
Oh, nice.
Nice, it was a nice gig, but it was a springboard to really give me more time to grow into my coaching business, mindset coaching business, which really helped. And it was a means to an end as well. So I seen it as that. But I was okay with it. Yeah. But maybe when I was dialed in rugby, everything, maybe I would have treated a different fee.
Yeah, I think. Like, similar mindsets were, like, last year, when that happened, I was devastated. Now I'm like, do you know what? It's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it is fine now. It wasn't fine, but 3 weeks on, it's fine. Because I'm like, there's more to life. And, like, I've lived with that rugby for the last 2 years, and I had to create opportunities for myself during that time. Like, start my podcast. So I'm like, just trying to put my energy now into making those things happen.
Look where that takes you now, though.
Yeah,
you never know. You might be doing commentary on women's games or men's games.
Yeah,
doors open. I did BBC Manchester Radio from podcasting. Cool. And doing Super League games, and I was like, that has just come from saying yes to things.
Yeah, saying yes. I think the freedom now I've got to like being out of pro sport to say yes to stuff is where like for example. Going to play in South Africa last week, within like a week, and I was on a plane because I was like, I've got the freedom to just say yes now. Nice. So like now I'm like, I won't have this time again. So I'm just trying to maximize my time and doing stuff that I'm like gonna meet people, go to somewhere new, connect with people, and then see where it takes me. Like also having something to fall back on too. Like I'm qualified PE teacher. Yeah, I think that's really important. And again, which I try to advise a lot of the young girls on coming through is like, make sure you got something to fall back on.
Shit, you sound like me. I used to say this all the time.
It's true though.
Because all the injuries we had, we're like, we got to fall back
100%. And like, even if you weren't even injured, your contract got cut and you're done. Like, rugby doesn't last forever. So like, you've got to make sure that you've got something to fall back on. You don't want to be like 35 and then be like, now what? So like, I've got that kind of teaching stuff behind me where like I can pick up those hours if I need to. So that's kind of cool. So I think that kind of takes the stress off of me to be like, I can go and work part-time teaching and then pick up other opportunities elsewhere if they come. Yeah. Class. But yeah, crazy.
So the other thing I wanted to say regarding the body and everything you're doing right now and the opportunities is like, I think as people, as humans, we don't really like learn off our wins, we learn off our losses. So, like the injuries we've had, you and me, whatever, is the fact that like they've taught us more about ourselves than the wins have. And I think like when people come to me now and they talk about my injured, my body is blah blah, I'm like, isn't it amazing though how like you can run into a brick wall every week, get back up, have surgery on it, and then you go again and it's there for you. Like how amazing the body is that it can do that, and you give it so much you rehab it and you go again. I'm like, imagine if you can just give more love to the body. Like, just be like, thank you to my knees for keep going after 3 ACLs, or for yourself after all the injuries you had. And I think like that, without being like a tree hugger or a hoo-hoo person, right? It's like the mind is the most powerful tool we have. If we give it love, it like sends love into that area of our body as well.
Yeah, I think like it's hard if you've never been through something before. So like what I found difficult like during all the setbacks and the operations and stuff was like then hearing someone be like, oh, I've tweaked my calf and I'm out for 2 weeks, and I'm stood there like can't even walk and just 3 operations deep, and I'd be like getting annoyed. And then I kind of again would like kind of talk myself to be like, what if that person that's their first experience in something negative? So I'm like, that might be their first ever niggle, or that might be preventing them from playing a game or stuff. And I kind of like, then I stopped getting annoyed about other people complaining, because I'm like, that might be the way that they cope, or they've never been through trauma. So like, yes, I could have been through X, Y, A, B, C, D, but this could have been their first thing they could have gone through. Or like, if people don't have a large amount of life experience, that's why they may struggle to cope with what we would deem as a smaller setback or something like that. So I think my perspective changed quite a lot through it. And I think that's one thing that kind of helped me through that period of time. And then kind of like, I just knew that I was going to get through it. And like, it sounds so stupid, but like, your mindset is the only thing you can rely on. Your body's not working. So it's like, what's going to get you through is how, kind of like the way you are thinking. Like, I turn up and something won't be going my way and I'd be upset, but then tomorrow you turn back up and you go for it again. And like, when you think of like 18 months of rehab, it's actually ridiculous.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But like, I just knew that I was going to make it. I just knew that I'd be able to do it. And I think that's just, I just knew. I just think I had that self-belief. And other people were like I said, I had that conversation where at one point they were like, I don't know if you are going to be able to play again. And I was like, fuck off. Yes, I am. And like, your mind is so powerful. And I think that like, it's so easy to fall into that dark trap of like self-pity and like, you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're having those dark days. And like, I did feel pressure on myself to be positive. I felt pressure to be like, I have to have a good perspective, and I have to like, I can't be sad about it. Yeah. And now I'm kind of like, it is okay to be sad.
Fuck yeah.
It is okay to have those days, but also like, the way your mindset is majority of the time is really important. So like, have those sad days, and that is completely fine, because there are that period of time where I was like, felt pressure to admit that I was really struggling. Yeah. Now I'll admit I'm struggling, but also do something about it at the same time,
That's the key part there. That ending part you said of it though is like, okay, all good and well to feel sad about it. Yeah. And it's valid. And then it's okay, well, what are you going to do about it now? And that's where I catch myself. So if someone's like said to me, I'm really sad, they're venting all their troubles to me, and then the next week or the week after, they're venting the same story to me, but they've done nothing about it, but they can do something about it. Then I'm like, well, you're not actually doing anything about it. So we're stuck in self-pity mode. But if you're like, okay, well, I've inquired about getting a scan, I've inquired about a rehab plan, I've inquired about, and I'm starting this. Well, you got the roadmap now to get out of it. But if we're not doing that and we're stuck here, I think it's hard then to be like, well, we got to move now. We got to shift the needle. Like,
yeah, I think like there's some things where like you can't get solutions on. There's some things that are just really shit and are just sad, and you just grieve, like, and that's fine. And there are other things then which you can be accountable on. And I think like it's really important to have like a safe circle where you feel you can be comfortable sharing with, and you don't feel judged. Absolutely. And like you can vent, and that person isn't going to judge you or get annoyed at you in return. Like, that's really important, because I think that now I'm in this bubble where like I'm so self-conscious about sounding negative, and I'm so like going through all these different things all the time. It must be so repetitive for someone to hear, oh, something else. So now I'm in this mindset, I'm like, I feel scared or worried to be like constantly talking about these things. But I think it's really important that you do have those people that you can share with, and you do need those home truths where you are people to be like, look, I think you sound like this, or whatever, and then like just have that kind of honesty and that kind of connection. Like sometimes you're like I said, it can be so consuming that you kind of don't see the outside, but I think like all these last 2 years, it's just taught me that like now I'm like, it's all right. It's all right to be sad. Yeah. But like, I think finding a positive or like trying to like trump the negative. So like now, okay, my situation is rubbish, but the positive is like there's opportunities for me. I've got freedom. I can go and do X, Y, and Z now. Like, I can sleep in if I want to. Because the last 2 weeks I have slept in quite a lot. Yeah.
I struggle with sleeping in.
No, I'm terrible. That's one thing I struggle with is you take my ADHD brain, you take routine and structure away from me. I'm hopeless.
Really?
I'm so used to someone telling me when to wake up, where to be, what to wear, what to eat. Like, my whole life, my whole year's planned. I've got a planner for the year. Like, you take all of that away and then you go, now what?
Go.
Now what? And I don't set an alarm and I'm just lying in bed like...
Yeah.
I could go to the gym, but I can't. I just...
Not right now.
Yeah. And then it comes to 8 o'clock and you still haven't been, and then it's like, well, I'll go tomorrow. But yeah.
But the best thing about all of this is, you know, you can't go wrong if you're a good person, you're kind and you're caring. Yeah. And you'll go far.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in that. Like, I think doing what you can for people is massive. Like, that's one thing that, like, no matter whether I have money or not, thought costs no money, in my opinion. Like, making sure people know that you care and you're thinking of them is massive. And I think going through everything I have over the last 2 years, really care about making sure that people know that I'm thinking of them. Because, like, going through the times where I've needed people, and I have had people there, but I have had other people that haven't been there, it's kind of been tough. And I wouldn't want someone to feel like that. So now I think that's my focus, is like, obviously really small my circle up, but making sure that people in that circle are like loved and cared for.
Love that.
Yeah, that is a big priority for me. Again, just because I would like that feeling in return. So I want me to be able to make sure that they know that I've always got their back, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we should roll this into something that's it's getting more and more exposure now, which is great. And you've had surgery on this. Is it endometriosis?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to just kind of break it down for the people who wouldn't know what it is? And then obviously this is the advance of people who've got it.
Yeah.
Kind of like break it down so everyone can understand it.
So, endometriosis is a chronic inflammatory condition where the lining of the uterus grows outside of the uterus, and it's like they're kind of like adhesions where they can like stick your other internal organs together. So it can be something that's really traumatic, causes like a severe amount of pain. It can grow at different parts of your insides, like whether that's your ovaries, your bowel, like on your ligaments. Like, it's something that it's something really difficult and has been misdiagnosed and undiagnosed for quite a long time. Like, for me, I'd always kind of struggled with my periods, but I kind of thought that was normal. And then when I went pro, my exercise intensity just skyrocketed. And then I noticed that, like, I was having these severe, like, bouts of pain episodes after I would do something really intense. So, like, if I do have a hard running session or a hard bike session, I was going into, like, what I would deem as, like, labour pains. Wow. It was crazy. Like, I would literally, what I'd imagine labour to be like, I was experiencing after these high intense exercises. So, like, to be fair, the W gave me incredible medical support. Like, we got investigated, and the gynecologist suspected I had endometriosis. I then done my ACL, so I had to, like, push back my surgery. So I had then my endometriosis surgery a month after my ACL surgery. Back, like, this is, like, obviously nearly 2 years ago now. The surgery was kind of like the most accurate way of diagnosing endometriosis. So I had the surgery, and unfortunately he found, like, I was, like, kind of riddled with it, and I was actually infertile at the time of my surgery. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. And obviously I don't want a child anytime soon. That's not on my plans. So then to find that out, I was kind of a bit, like, taken aback. And it was hard because prior to the surgery, I had, like, a scan that was like, I'm not sure if you'd find anything, and then to find out the opposite, and I'm severely suffering with it. I was fortunate enough that he was able to remove the endo, but there's, like, different strands of endometriosis, and the strand that I've got is highly likely to regrow. So if I want a child, like, post 5 years, I'd probably have to have the surgery again to, like, restore my fertility. Because the surgery of the removal, lasts around 3 to 5 years, and then the chance, because of this strand I've got, this going to regrow. Like the chances it'll just keep regrowing in my system basically. So yeah, it's tough because my symptoms with endometriosis are like severe fatigue. So like again, being an athlete's really hard because I'd always be questioning, why am I so tired all the time? I'd be in the gym and I'd be like this, and I'd be like, no one else is this tired. So I'd overfuel because I think maybe I haven't eaten enough. So I was getting put on weight, and like, I have obviously the main issue was like if I did a hard fitness test, I'd be having these extreme. Like it's the worst pain I've ever experienced. Wow. Like there was one instance in my rehab for my knee. I was running down the field with some of the girls, and I had an endo flare up. And I was literally rolling on the grass, like in the middle of the session. In like, you'd swear that someone just shot me. Like, that's how bad it was. So, it's tough because I know what it is now, but back then, kind of didn't know kind of what it was. So, yeah, and people like really suffer, like, to the extent of, like, some people have had, like, hysterectomies, some people have got stoma bags. Like, that's how much it can, like, destroy your insides because of, like, how the adhesions, like, attach themselves to other parts of you. So I spoke out about it when I got diagnosed. Obviously, I'd never heard of it prior to that. So I felt really vulnerable sharing something like that. Like, I thought it was, I really nearly didn't post it. Really nearly didn't post it. But I was like, do you know what? This could help someone, me being that vulnerable. And the response I had was crazy. There was so many women that either had been diagnosed that were trying to fight for more awareness, or the amount of women since I've spoken out that have now gone to either see my surgeon or go and see someone privately somewhere else, have now had surgery being diagnosed. I'm in like double figures. I said to my surgeon, you give me commission.
I was going to say, where's the kickbacks?
But like, it's crazy because like people read my post and they were like, you've made me feel like that I'm not crazy. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I feel like I sound crazy, and like it was kind of like having that connection with people to make you realise that like there are other people going through what you are, but you just need to be able to hear it, so it's not just you. And then that was a big thing about my podcast then, where I was like, I think that's just one thing. So imagine all the things that people are going through that kind of need to be heard, you know?
It reassures people as well, right?
For sure. And I think then like actually people that haven't even known that their symptoms were actually an issue, like with periods, I think we just have this idea around that they're meant to be sore and painful and heavy, and that's not normal. If your period is painful, that's not normal, but we just think that they are. So like now I'm on like hyper alert. If people are like telling me their symptoms, I'm like, that's not okay. You need to go get that seen. And they're like, what? I'm like,
really?
Yeah. And it's true then, and people don't get seen, and then they get diagnosed with PCOS, or then get diagnosed with endometriosis. I had a case as if I'm the doctor, but one girl that messaged me who went to my surgeon, had the surgery, had severe endometriosis. She's now pregnant.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I seen that she got pregnant. I was like, this is amazing. But like, unfortunately, endo can act as a contraceptive. And like, when I had my surgery, I was infertile. So it's like, people just understanding that like, and that's kind of the biggest thing, that like, you could be trying for a child and you might not even realise that you actually could have endo, and that could be the reason it's preventing you from doing so. So I have tried to like provide that kind of awareness. I need to do more of it. But there are, like, I'm just glad that little I have done so far has been able to like positively affect those people, you know. Because I said even if it helped one person and one person had a successful response out of it, like,
you're winning.
Horses, 100%.
It's funny, right, when you just said then, you know, you listen out for things.
Yeah.
It's like when someone does a knee and they're like, oh, my knee's been locking. You're like, oh, meniscus.
Yeah.
I heard that pop noise. Oh, that might be an ACL.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Just
and like, even when like
clicking.
I'm watching people do rehab and stuff, or like I'm watching people squat and stuff, oh, no. And now I go like knee over toe, but your knee over your toe, it'll build your quad more.
I don't want to go away from
No, you're good. No, I understand, yeah.
What is it something that you could temporarily use then, not use or take a supplement or something which can, you know, like band-aid the pain symptoms of it?
It's very like individual specific, so I don't want to say this and then be like someone listens and goes, I need to do the same. But I'm actually medicated from endo now.
What's that called?
Dynagest.
Dynagest.
Yeah, I take Dynagest. Basically, like, it kind of like stops my periods, but it's a tablet that's meant to slow the regrowth of my endo. And like, I've been on, it's not a contraceptive, it's just a pill that like helps it basically. Nice. And then I take magnesium a lot because like one thing of endo is like you get endo bloat, but like my stomach looks like I'm pregnant half the time. Like, and it's really hard with like clothes and kit. Like I always go up a size in my kit because there's days I'm gonna have a really bloated stomach that like I can't have my kit being tight. So always go up a size. I'm always in like baggy t-shirts because I don't know if I'm going to have an bloated belly by the end of the day.
Well, you can slowly notice it.
Yeah, and like
I might get this endo bloat.
You'd have an ovary mush. You'd have a uterus.
There's always bloated by the time. No, I shouldn't take the piss. But yeah, how do you just actually notice it happening throughout the, like, you'll be like,
yeah, well, it's very also food reactive. So like, what's one thing I'm starting to notice is like certain cheese. I can't have certain cheese or like you basically need to eat like a really clean and whole food kind of diet to like prevent your stomach being quite reactive. I have a sweet tooth, so it doesn't really work for me that well. And I'm like, I'll take the bloated belly over me having a bag of M&Ms, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I know. But it does make me really self-conscious about how I look. Because like one day I could look in the mirror and I'd be like, I look pregnant. Next day I'm like, I look lean. It's like so inconsistent. And that is a big endo symptom is the endo bloat, which is really annoying. I know. But yeah, I take magnesium because that's meant to help with that. I have a machine called MyUV, plug, where it's like a TENS machine, but for your period, where it like basically helps you. It like controls your period pains. Obviously I don't have my period pains now, but I've literally gave my machine to one of my friends, like try and recommend it because like it really helps. Or hot water bottle is the key. Anyone listening has a bad back or bad stomach, hot water bottle.
Really?
Yeah, I would not survive without one. It's actually really bad, and people that are listening that may experience the same thing would understand. Burn my stomach from the hot water bottle, but I don't feel it until I take it off, and then I'm like, whoa. Because like the heat does so well for it, you don't actually realise it's actually burning your skin.
Wow.
So you take the hot water bottle off and you're like, oh my god, I burned my stomach. But you don't feel it. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. There is a link as well to like inflammatory. So like when I had my surgeon on my podcast episode and we asked him like, is there a link to like why my knee could be healing so slowly because of like my endo and stuff, and there is a link. I can't remember the terminology he used, but like because the condition is a chronic inflammatory condition, it does have a link to like it would inflame another area of you that like isn't okay basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a bit mad.
Well, I appreciate you sharing all of that because someone's listening to that right now and they're going to be like, shit, that's me. I got all these symptoms. And they can do something about it.
The tough part is that it takes like 7 to 10 years to get diagnosed, but now there's so much awareness like being spread about it, and like now you can actually have an idea. If you have an MRI scan, some people probably won't know, if you have an MRI scan, it can kind of show if you're starting to get adhesions on your stomach, whereas that wasn't available to me when I first got diagnosed. So now obviously that's a cheaper option or an easier option for people to access rather than having to go privately or go straight to surgery. So yeah, I'd recommend like get an MRI scan if you think it's probable, because it'd be able to show you the adhesions up. But unfortunately, it is getting better because there's more awareness being spread and more people getting diagnosed. But it is still something that needs a lot of work because there are a lot of women that suffer with it, and also a lot of people that suffer that don't realise that's what they're suffering with.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I want to give you a little gift as well. I'm going to grab it now.
A gift?
Yeah. Well,
no.
I don't know if you're into it though, but I'm going to give you a little gift.
Oh God, what if I'm not? Okay.
You'd be like, oh, well, that's not a cool gift.
No, it is a cool gift.
So
funny enough, my journal that I had got drowned in the flood. So perfect.
Well, there you go. Well, this is a journal of mine.
Ooh,
basically,
thank you so much.
What you said earlier about after rugby and the structure and everything it gave you, this is the reason why I created the journal, because when I finished rugby and knowing every day what I was doing or for that year or for the 6 months, I realised I had to create my own goals.
Yeah.
And it kept me accountable, because then with this, you got your 90-day goal. But if you keep sliding it over, you've got a personal mission statement, you've got a business mission statement.
Wow.
And then every day you've got different questions which are going to prompt positive reinforcement and shift that perspective. So it's just like anything, like you know, when you play sports and you're trying to improve a situation, it's only slight little 1%ers you're doing all the time. But those little 1%ers add up to the big win. So you do that every day. But if you scroll it to the back...
Each question's are different each day?
Yeah, every question. And then you reflect on the weekends. But on the back, if you go a bit further back, there's a page just called a brain dump. Keep going.
Oh, God, I need that.
There you go, a brain dump. So, like, one thing that really helped me was I used to get cooped up in my head so much. And I used to dwell about a game. I dwell about selection, contracts. And then when I went out of that, you know, business, what was I going to be doing? And I realized that I created all of this in my head. Half of it wasn't true. Well, no, more than half, 90%. So when I started writing it out in the back, all the overwhelm in my head, I realized pretty quickly, I'm like, wow, I made a lot of this up, most of it. And then there's like a couple of truths in there. And then my anxious thoughts decreased. My nervous system come back to normal. And I was like, well, there's something in this. So this journal, I think, will be really
perfect
good
for me.
just not in that aspect, but just that structure, because you're so used to it. But
oh, it's amazing. And I love that each day is different.
Yeah, so that's my little...
Nice, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Yeah, I think it'd be great for me, to be fair, and hold me accountable. So,
no worries, I use it every day, so it's all good.
Perfect. Well, when we do a next episode, I can bring it back and I'll update you on where we're at.
So yeah, but basically, and how I always wrap it up is just want to ask you, what are you grateful for?
Oh, well, I'm grateful for my dog Marley for a start. Because she has been literally my rock the last 2 years. Doesn't matter what type of day I've had, to come home and she's happy to see me, gives me loads of love. So that's one thing I'm grateful for. And I think I'm just grateful for people outside of my rugby circle. So my family, friends that have no idea what rugby is. Because even though they don't have a clue, I think what helped me during these last few months is having people that just care about me as an individual no matter what. So that's been, definitely something that I've been really grateful for, and I've put so much time into over these last few months, is those type of people that don't even know the rules, and they're all they care about is me and how I am as a person. Also grateful for this sunny day, to be fair.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's lovely. It's nice. Yeah. But what are you grateful for?
Like that. I'm grateful, obviously, for you coming here today, coming all the way from Llanelli to come down here. That's big. And I think for me is just connection with people and getting to know you more. I know it's just all gonna work out well for you, and I'm excited for the continuous growth with rugby. But what's gonna happen next is amazing for you, because the best thing about this is you're a good person. Thanks. So it's a win-win. So just, I'm grateful for that. So thanks for coming in.
Oh, thanks so much. I love that. Thank you very much. No, it's been good. Thank you.
Always.